and impact the masses.
In the podcast system, thought-provoking content is considered especially heinous. In Long Beach, California, the two men dedicated to discussing these topics are members of an elite squad known as the Doormen. These are their stories.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Doormen. We are those gentlemen, very distinguished. My name is Evangelist.
Steven in the building.
And, if you're not comfortable with our lack of the Talofa greetings, let me add that in there for you. Well, brand new episode of the Doormen. Such a great week, right? Just got over this Thanksgiving holiday.
Giving of thanks.
Man, it was awesome. Just a beautiful time, right? So would you like to start the recap, or because I'm already rolling, but
I don't know why I would even get in your way.
like a train, I'm coming down. So first off, man, okay, Thanksgiving week, the start of this week was a rough one, right? Absolutely rough. My sister lands in this health, life or death situation, comes out of it, and absolutely a definite reason, an additional reason this week or this year to give just super thanks. We get to rolling, and my wife and I, we do this thing every year, well, at least for the last 3 years, where we sell our mac and cheese, our great mac and cheese recipe that's been refined for the last 16 years, and now it's just this award winner. And so we had our biggest sale yet, 3 years running. And then we finally get to Thanksgiving, and then we have one of the most beautiful gatherings we've had at my sister's house. After her going through this crazy situation and coming out of it. But yeah, God is good. Great.
Yes, he is. Thanks. Every day.
All day. All night. Well, yeah, those my week recap. Steven, take it.
Well, week started off like any other week. Work. And then Wednesday was kind of a shit show at work. I would say lack of schedule planning and lack of dependable employees could be a hindrance in a company's day-to-day functioning. But then Thanksgiving, went to Hemet, saw my mom, my grandparents early in the morning, had a little bit of a brunch type thing, and then went to Shelby's parents and ate, passed out. Learned a new card game called Swoop.
Swoop. Okay, you're gonna have to teach me that one.
Yeah, we were playing it, and Shelby said that Evan and Carissa will love this game.
Hey, let me know.
So,
can we play for money?
Needless to say, I won.
Such a winner.
Duh.
Wait, some game you just learned how to play, and then you end up winning.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Doorman.
It is a Doorman quality.
Very, very Doorman.
We start things and we're good at things.
Just win
immediately.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and then today we're doing this. Thankful for a lot of things, family, friends, the Doorman, our producer, Celsius.
Yeah. Hey, hopefully Celsius, if you guys are watching.
Yeah,
we would absolutely appreciate.
We know you're one of our 133 followers. Celsius at Celsius.
Yeah, you know what? To take it back to this little sale that we had, this mac and cheese. Let me just thank each and every one of you out there who came out support, purchased pans. You guys you made our week. You made our week. The fact that my sister survived, she made our week.
So thankful for that as well. Thankful for your sister's health.
Man.
Wow. Thankful that I know you guys. You guys are genuine, solid individuals, the Langfords as a whole. I'm also thankful for the fact that you are rocking that Tiger Woods red Nike polo.
Thank you very much. Thank you for.
You look like Tiger Woods if Tiger Woods was a weightlifter.
I feel like I look like polar bear woods. I feel like grizzly woods.
We've said this before. We'll leave the serious discussions to you and the humor to me. Okay.
Well,
You look good
noted.
in a red
Noted.
polo.
Noted.
Now we'll move on.
I feel like
Amicably.
massive woods.
Okay. Nope. You're trying it again.
Bully woods. Nope. Okay.
Let's just move forward amicably.
We will. You know what? We decided, we wanted to add a little kind of structure our show in a much more, sophisticated way.
Yes.
So we decided to add this segment of the show that we're going to call Doormen, the Doormen perspective. So what it is we're going to do, we're going to take the goings-ons, right? Current events, whatever it may be. We can pick sports, and then we're just going to add this Doorman lens to it because shit's going on. Everyone has their way of looking at it, and then Steven and I are going to allow you to see into these very intellectual brains.
Yes.
That we carry around.
Scientific.
Very scientific. Very.
Yes. It's hard work.
Very noteworthy.
It's hard work
Yeah.
walking around
It is.
with this much intelligence.
Well, I mean, so what I've been thinking about, and I'm sure everybody's been thinking about it because it's all over anywhere. I don't think people can escape this whole Hamas Israel situation,
Yeah.
right? And then what I've noticed is that everybody jumps on one side based on whatever trend, whatever whim, whatever motivation they're experiencing at the time. So
Right. Whatever their favorite influencer is talking about.
So it's funny to me, right? It's funny to me that, like, let's say there's a group called Queers for Palestine,
Oh.
right? It's funny to me that's in existence, right? Or it's funny to me that a lot of these guys who the BLM situation, BLM sided with Palestine.
Of course they did.
But it's also funny to me. It's also funny to me that the more right wing we are, we're definitely gonna side with Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I grew up in a Christian household. As we all know, I'm constantly drowning you guys with the idea that the early programming was Christianity, but fundamentally we are a pro-Israel take, right? Mm-hmm. And this Doorman perspective that I'm going to offer is that no matter what it is that we decide to move on in order to jump on the side of the line that we decide that we choose, right? Whether you're pro-Israel or pro-Palestine, whether you're recognizing Hamas as a terrorist group, or whether you're hating the idea that Israel and the IDF have done what they've done, and I can't really
almost dismantled.
Well,
their hideouts.
Sure, almost dismantled their hideouts, but even people often talk about the situations of this open air prison that the Palestinian people have been in for I'd say since 2005 when the withdrawal happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless of how you see it, right? What we can't narrow things down to are these perfectly packaged sides, like to say, oh, Israel is absolutely good in this, or the Palestinian people are absolutely good in this, right? As much as Israel has been influenced by Western civilization, it's democratic in its ways. It's right. There's a very civilized movement going on in the country of Israel. You have to realize that these nuanced atrocities that occurred on the part of Israel are in the minds of the Palestinians that have gone through these situations, right? There's things that they can speak loudly about it. And we've heard these voices that have been loud about these I want to say these little fringe situations that have happened over the decades within that conflict, right? And then of course we can all point to the different terrorist factions that have come to power in Palestine and say, hey, there are things that have happened that Palestinian people have participated, these terrorist groups that have been absolute evils.
Right.
Right. So there's no real clean way of looking at this conflict and coming out feeling better about your position and where you stand. There are evils done on both sides. I guess it's up to us to determine what carries the greater good. And I'm not here to tell you to say, hey, this side carries the greater good, or that side carries the greater good.
Right.
But you have to determine somehow where is the greater good going to be found? Is it on the side of Israel? Is it on the side of Hamas and the Palestinian people? What is the greater good? What carries us into the future, reflecting the best outcome? And what is the best outcome? Right? I think that's where we have to be in this situation. Don't blind yourself with these small little, these small trends that you may be participating in. Right?
Right.
Open your horizon to a much more transcendent outcome. Like what's going to benefit the world, not just you and your personal
Feelings.
flavor
Right.
flavor of the week,
Yeah.
right? And that's where I'll stop and then recognize that that's a Doormen perspective. What do you?
Do I get a topic?
You get a topic.
Oh.
You get to choose any
Interesting.
topic of your.
So last night I was watching Sports Center, and the Clippers were playing the Spurs in San Antonio.
Oh,
And the Clippers have always been the redheaded stepchild of the league.
Of the
I
league.
think
of LA.
of the league.
Yeah.
San Diego didn't want them, so they came to LA. They can't win it with all this talent. But anyway,
Yeah.
so Kawhi Leonard's at the free throw line, and the crowd's booing him. As any player gets booed as the away team at the free throw line. Has nothing to do with the fact that it was he used to play for the Spurs. Nothing to do with the fact that the people of San Antonio wanted to burn his house down. Has nothing to do with that at all. It has everything to do with the fact that he was the away player shooting free throws during the game. The coach of the San Antonio Spurs, Greg Popovich, who is the most liberal person to ever speak words of the American language,
Wow.
grabs the microphone during the game, tells the crowd to stop booing because that's not the kind of people that San Antonio is.
When has that ever happened?
Never. Never. Now, I'll tell you, being the sports individual as I am, being raised in the sports world, much like you were raised in your Christian world, I've never, ever, ever, ever seen a player leave a team, whether for its good reasons or bad, go to their old city that they used to play in and not get a hostile reaction. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
Has nothing to do with the fact that the people, like I said, hated the dude or wanted to cause harm to the dude or any other thing, that he was shooting free throws on the opposing team against the home team. That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
And Popovich comes out of nowhere like he is anybody's boss or anybody listens to what he says. His own team don't listen to what he says. He's been there for so long that he's just there, right? The players. He's a good coach. I'm not saying he's not a good coach, but he's losing his mind a little bit, I think, because he's come out on a number of times and vote and stated his opinion on a number of current events that he has no business. He has no business telling people how to spend their money when he gets millions of dollars to coach a basketball team. He has no business telling the home team to stop booing because it's not nice. That's just what they do.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of in line with this culture today, right? It's these people who sit on high, sit on their high horse or believe that they're better than the world, and they try to provide their authority and say, hey, this is how you should act, or this is how you should.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do this, or you
And
shouldn't do this.
under the cloud of that's not how San Antonio is. We have more class. Like
as if you represent,
in his few words,
your words are currently representing the city of San Antonio.
Yeah, and in his few words, you told every other fan base in the NBA that they are classless for doing the exact same thing.
Because that's what happens. That's
Right.
a normalcy.
Right. So it happens. It doesn't really happen a lot in football because people get traded back and forth all the time, or sign new deals, whatever. Because that particular player may or may not impact the game.
Sure.
With baseball, it happens. It happens, like there are very few examples of players being traded or signed their free agent deals that leave with like a bad taste in the team that they're leaving, right? It's usually drawn out. It's usually speculated. It's reported on. So it's never really a shock when somebody signs with a new team. Even in a trade, like if I'm on a baseball team and you're on my team and I traded you to the Yankees, that's nothing to do with you. So when you come back to the Dodgers, let's say, the fans are going to give you a positive ovation. If you said in the offseason, I hate the Yankees, I hate the management, I hate the ownership, the fans suck, the next time you come to
it's going to be hell.
New York, you're going to get your ass booed.
Sure.
And it happened in 96, I think, with the Braves.
Like fan base, a fan base is going to boo any opponent.
Right.
Right. So I mean, that's just a normal thing that happens.
It happened with the Dodgers when Bellinger came back as a Cub last year. They gave him an ovation at the plate. Hey, glad you're back. You did so well for us. Blah blah blah. Help us win the title.
Right.
He made a spectacular defensive play in center field, and the crowd booed him, and he went like but that's what happens.
Right,
you take it in stride and you move on. Right.
Yeah.
So Greg Popovich, you can eat a bag of apples or those.
Yeah.
He's just a grouchy old man now.
Yeah.
Don't boo him. It made me laugh.
Yeah.
Out loud.
Human
You can't
behavior.
be an athlete under the microscope and think that you can't have thick skin.
Sure. But human behavior is what it is, right? And then you should any person, any individual, or any group of people's attempts to control said behaviors, I don't know.
Yeah.
Go eat a dick.
I mean, Kobe got booed at every away game shooting free throws.
Right.
LeBron gets booed at every away game shooting free throws. Is the coach going to say, "Hey, don't do that because we have more class"?
Yeah.
No. You want them to boo loud enough for him to miss.
Yeah. Dude, they don't. What in football they call it? The 12th man?
Yeah.
Right. To have like the
That's the fans.
fans.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, well,
That's my take. Don't be a
That
bitch
is-
in professional sports,
be a bitch.
Popovich.
yeah, you little.
Ooh, Papa bitch.
That was kind of
That was weak.
it was weird.
That was weak.
You got to chuckle. Anyway, you know what? We have been pulling our hair out, as you can see.
On to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, we've been pulling our hair out to really like bring to you stuff. I don't know that I'm not usually trying to follow trends or trying to like get clickbait out there. I really want to provide like lessons to anyone who will listen, right? So I'm constantly thinking about what words can we say, what lessons can we give in order that we leave anyone who actually takes the time to listen to these episodes with something to take, something to move forward in life with.
Wow.
And then so what we have kind of discussed today in preparation for this episode is the idea that moving on from one aspect of life to the next, or from one position of life to the next, one situation in life to the next, you have to be prepared. You have to be somewhat open, taking a clean slate with you, in order to make adjustments, learn how to receive or how to move into this maturity or growth in that next step, right? So Stephen and I, and along with Shelby, and we were out there in our living room chatting it up about relationships. We kind of started this whole lesson today that we're going to bring, discussing relationships and how do we move from one relationship to the next with the best equipment, best equipped, best prepared to move into something even better, as opposed to bringing in the luggage from the past situation,
Right.
right? So that's pretty much what we're coming up with, right?
Yeah.
Anything that you're experiencing in your life, you're going to make the mistakes. You're going to encounter the mistakes of others. But what we often find ourselves doing is taking these mistakes and the mistakes of others, because people are flawed, and we move into the next step of life, the next level, with this same expectations, with the same type of maturity into the next level, not being open, right? Not being so much open to this next level of thinking, the maturity. Shelby having had one
Example.
experience.
Yep.
How about we say experience?
Experience.
Right? And then the new experience being Stephen. You can't bring the old experience into this new.
Correct.
Stephen is going to provide you with a much more flavorful,
Balanced.
in masculine,
retrospect to our last episode, balance.
manly.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, in anything you move into, and then you can apply that in any facet of life, right? You can apply that in relationships. You can apply that into, let's say, I love fitness, right? As much as I love to party, drink, and eat, I think fitness and the movement of it is essential if you want to lead that gluttonous lifestyle. You have to add that other counterbalance of fitness. But yeah, you move from one type of fitness regimen to the next, or you move from one type of fitness level to the next. You have to be prepared. You have to be open to the new regimen, to the new ideas, to the new practices, right? You can't bring in all the knowledge from this separate thing, right?
And not be so ego heavy that you think that you know what needs to be done in the new venture.
Great point, dude.
Right.
Like the humility that it takes to even experience growth is bananas. I mean, you have to go into a situation recognizing, man, I'm not shit. I am nothing. I am nothing that is. I don't have anything that requires me that's required for this growth. I have to ingest all of it from this point forward. I have to look for the tools. I have to look for the proper instructions and recognize whether I'm applying these instructions properly, right? Like I can't in any way think, oh man, I'm going to bring this habit that I practiced over here and I'll be fine, right? Because I'm such a great person, or I'm so fit already that I can apply this practice.
I have a small example to that. When I went, when I was living in Colorado, I went snowboarding once, and I thought I had never been snowboarding in my life, never been on the snow, never even thought about it. But in my mind, I was like, well, I'm from California. I've skateboarded. It's got to be the same thing.
Same thing. Balance, board.
Yeah, balance. I can do this. First run down, caught the front lip of my board, fell, broke my nose.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You broke your nose? Fuck, that's got to be painful.
And it was more the humility in that situation was the fact that they would not let me get up and finish the way down. So I had to go down the hill in that stupid emergency toboggan with some little kid that got separated from his parents staring at me the whole way.
Wow.
And I was 19, 20 years old, just mad at the world already. I had the chip on my shoulder was deep back then.
You had a bag of Doritos on your
Yeah.
shoulder, dude.
And this kid was just staring at me, and I was like, turn the fuck around. Bleeding out of my, but it's like, it's the same thing where I thought, I can skateboard. This isn't going to be nothing.
Right. I mean, again, you know what's funny is as a coach or even getting involved in the fight training, right? It's funny because they say women, they become the much more technically sound fight practitioners, right? Why? Because as men, we grew up.
Yeah, I could
rough
throw a
play.
punch.
Yeah,
Right.
roughhousing with the boys, brothers, family members that are, we just grow up fighting. We grow up like throwing punches, and we grow up like just being absolute animals, right? And then we tend to bring that same thing into a fight training, thinking, "Oh, I know how to throw a punch. I know how to throw a kick," and when it comes down to it, you're just bringing that baggage, that
Yeah.
ill technique,
Yeah.
the ill technical thrown punch, technical, whatever technique
Right.
you're bringing.
The punch that knocked your little brother out.
Yeah, but
It's not going to
gonna do
knock the
shit
man across the
to
ring.
another another fighter, another trained fighter.
Yes.
He ain't doing shit. But yeah, we bring that baggage into the training room, and we think, oh yeah, perfect. I'm gonna be just fine. I know, and I know how to take a punch too. I know how to fucking dodge a punch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then because the women come with such a clean slate, they are absolutely much more technically sound than men.
Right.
Right? Because you can't come with a full glass hoping to get more of any type of liquid that you're looking to come.
Right.
You can't come with a full glass. You can't
Right.
come with a mind full of information.
You can't refill
already.
it if you
Right.
don't spill it.
Oh, what the fuck? Look at this guy, huh?
Damn.
Hey man, you know what?
I should write a book.
Hey, Doormen t-shirts.
I should write a book.
You can't fill it if you don't spell it.
That's the new logo.
What is it? You can't refill it if you,
You
don't
can't
spell it.
refill it if you don't
God
spill
damn
it.
it, huh? From the Doorman. Hey, you know what? I'm going to give credit to Steven. Steven the Doorman gave you that right in your face.
Just right there.
Soak that shit up. I think we're going to wrap the... No.
Yeah. On that note, we're done.
On that note, you can't, that's fucking sick with it. Anyway, yeah, you absolutely have to move in, man. Clean slate, empty glass.
Yeah.
Spill out your mind. You can't go in and learn. One thing I understand is that I can't learn shit because my mind is just full of some other crap that I'm thinking about.
Food recipes.
Mac and cheese, goddamn it. I'm over there trying to cook some confit duck with a mac and cheese recipe. Can't do it.
The next pastry by Hostess. That's what you're thinking about.
Yeah, dude. Deep fried Twinkies is what I always think.
Cream filling, shoot all in your mouth. Glitter.
Whoa, calm down.
That's
over
what the
there with
Twinkies
cream
do.
filling and shit.
That's what the Twinkies do.
It's not the first thing I think about when I think about
Well, then you have a massive internal problem.
Usually,
You have a
and I
massive.
bite a Twinkie from the side. Just to let you know. God damn.
I go one step further, and I don't eat Twinkies.
Oh,
so
hey, awesome. You know, I started eating ding dongs. God damn it.
ding dongs are the way to go.
Anyway,
Chocodiles.
I don't know how we got onto this fat-filled talk.
Other things on your mind,
God damn. Other things in yeah.
which is
I mean, yeah, you definitely want to move into new situations with a brand new mindset.
Right.
Empty it all out. Empty it out. Relationships, regimens, all of it.
well, I learn every
Move it to the
day.
next step.
Every day that with the kids at the house, I never claimed to know how to raise a child.
Shit.
But you learn every day, and you take what you've learned, as you are up to this point in your life. Obviously, the kids are running with scissors. You don't let them do that.
Yeah.
They don't play with
Whoa there, killer.
certain things. Yeah. But it's a learning process where I can safely say that I have a clean slate with that because I've never done it.
Right.
So I can't say that I know how.
So you move into that situation with absolute humility. You're
Yeah.
like, I know what I don't want.
I know nothing.
Right.
Right.
I know what I don't want, but that's about it.
Right.
I don't know how I'm going to get these kids to do what we actually want.
Right.
And when I say we, you and Shelby.
Right.
Right.
But then it is, as I said, day by day, you learn what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. So you apply what works. You don't try to force what doesn't, and that's how you progress moving forward. I think you take what works, what little knowledge you may or may not have. You can't go thinking that knowledge is the way to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the human experience, right? I think we have to come to the understanding that we as human beings are not shit. We don't have everything that it takes to live the successful life.
Right.
We don't even understand fully what success is.
Right.
Right. I mean, at some point we think, oh man, having all the money in the world is that success. And then we're finding out, nope, that's not.
Well, that's a
quite it.
programmed thing, right? It's a
Right.
programmed thought
Sure.
that, we said it before that, if you have all the money in the world, then you have different problems
Right.
than most.
Right.
But you
I
still
would
have
say,
the issues.
Can we at least make the claim that if having all the money in the world was the goal, the end goal, we wouldn't see a single rich person
Correct.
online,
Yeah.
right? We wouldn't see because they'd be absolutely satisfied with the lives that they've chosen, and it'd be around. But for some reason, these said rich people, billionaires, millionaires, they want to share that with the world.
Right.
So it should tell you that making the money and having it, it's not quite it.
Right.
Right? There's something involving other people. There's something involving the world around you that is it.
Yeah.
Right? It's I'd heard the saying that true happiness comes in the service of others. True happiness comes in the service of others. So thinking about life or taking on this life and assisting the people in proximity has something to do. We were talking about balance, and balance. Part of that balance is finding like a good core group, right? Core group, core support, all of that is gonna add to that. Add to your balance. So yeah, these gurus online, these millionaires, traders, and whatever, they're showing us that the idea of leading the most successful life involves a group around you. It involves people.
Yeah. Well, I think that in the you said it before that we're not equipped to just jump into any situation to be successful, right? That's why there's training. That's why certain people do certain jobs, why certain people have really long relationships, because certain people are not equipped to handle all of that.
Well,
I gave you the example earlier, like you could bench press a Buick and I could fix a Buick. You have the capacity and the drive to be fit and muscular. I have the drive to want to fix shit myself before I pay somebody else to fix it.
Sure.
So,
Right.
but I've always been, and maybe this is my being brought up, that always try to fix it yourself. My grandpa, my Uncle Mark is probably one of the most like perfectionist type people when he's doing work. You have zero idea. For him to replace that light switch, he would take the switch off and realize that, oh, the ground isn't right. Before you know it, you'd have a hole cut in that wall out to the main line, thinking, oh, he'd
rewire the
he'd run a
entire room.
new ground
Just for the light switch.
and then put a switch there that had a dimmer
Yeah.
and
that's up the code.
clap on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, trust
You know
me.
what? Hey, I do my dad zero favors as far as reflecting his ability, his mechanically inclined ability. My dad was a diesel mechanic in the military, and he fixed the cars as much as he possibly could before he, turned it over to mechanics. But yeah, I do my dad zero favors because, I didn't have that drive to sit around and figure out how machines worked. Or I would much rather go out and make the money to pay somebody to do it for me. And so my dad, rest in peace. I apologize. Right, my dad
See,
is an absolute king.
Now, my dad, I don't know. Never mind.
He's like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, you can eat a dick. You can eat a dick with Greg Popovich. They can share a plate. But yeah. So with me, it was always like my grandpa said, learn how to change a tire, change your oil, fix the basic stuff before you get your own car.
Yeah. Well,
And it's and now it's unfortunate that it's not unfortunate, but technology is progressing so much that you can't even really take a wrench to a car,
dude,
a new
you
car.
You have to buy an entirely specialized tool set.
Yeah.
Just to deal with a new engine.
Or the new cars come equipped with like 100,000 mile, warranty as long as you come in, on the scheduled days at the mileage and get the proper service. Like those Mariahs that I drive at work.
Right.
They have a package included that includes the first 5 maintenances.
Maintenance.
But it's progressively. It's 5,000, then 10,000, then 18,000, then 20. And then I figured out
So are you paying per maintenance call?
No, it's included. But
how much is that package, do you know?
I have no idea, but I looked at what they did on the last one that I took in for service, and they already replaced the band on the hydrogen tank. So that can't be a good sign that the band is going out on the hydrogen tank. But also I found out, side note, on this car, it says on the gas tank when you open it up, do not fill up after 2038. That's the lifespan on the car.
2038.
It's 15 years from manufacturing.
Oh, fuck.
That's crazy, dude.
That's wild, dude. That is fucking wild.
I'm sure they're anticipating a shortage of hydrogen or something by then.
Damn. Well,
it's just your car's just set to detonate in 2038.
Well, I mean, I think we've given our life lesson. We've hopefully sent you off with the tools.
Yeah.
From the Doormen.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Or at least got your mind circulating a little bit to think that maybe you don't bring your past bullshit into your new ventures.
Or hoping that you realize that, guys, we ain't shit. You ain't shit, I ain't shit. Right. So we got to go into every situation with that mentality. Look, we've got the tools to move forward, but we just don't have the know-how.
Yeah.
So, hey, listening to mentors, great idea. Listening to instruction. Listening to people who know better, like the Doormen.
Yes.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yes.
G.I. Joe. So we're going to finish with our the segment of the Doormen stories. Do you have one ready to go?
Got one.
Go ahead.
So this is actually my very first night working the door at a bar in Colorado. It was a Thursday night, and I was working the door. The 2 bars that we worked at, one was Lodo's Bar and Grill, and the other one was Maddie's House of Mirrors. Maddie's House of Mirrors, I've gone on record as saying, is probably one of the most haunted places I've ever been involved in my life. But it was connected by a door, in the big swing door in the middle, so you could go to each bar, right? Maddie's closed at a certain time. I was working the door at Maddie's, checking IDs, and these 2 ginormous, like, Scottish guys walked in the door. And I checked their IDs, and they were right by the door, and they start arguing about something, like who's going to pay for the next round or something, right? I'm thinking, again, it's my first night, not really sure how to apply the pressure as of yet. So they're in the middle, and I get in the middle of these guys, and they're arguing, yelling loud enough for the guys at the bar. My buddy Aaron was working at the other bar. And this is around the time of those Terry Tate commercials. Remember? Terry Tate, the Office linebacker.
Okay. Hurts.
No, so it was
no. Okay,
it was like,
ESPN, it was like an ESPN,
ESPN thing.
Yeah.
He was a linebacker for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And he would tackle somebody for not refilling the coffee.
Right.
Or spear somebody for using the last toner and not refilling the toner, and be like, respect office, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So me and Aaron had a day job where we worked together at the airport, and we'd go work at the bar at night. So I'm getting in between these two guys, and they start swinging at each other. So at that point, I just thought, well, forget it. So again, bigger guy than me, and he's typical. It's like a extra from Braveheart, right? Long red hair, long big old beard. So I just gave him one, bap, and he hits the ground. And I go to hit the other guy, and he's already flat backed. And Aaron gets up and he's like, "Hey, you good?" And walk back to the bar. And I was like, "Well, what am I supposed to do? These two dead hippos in the front of the door right now." So my first night, I knew Aaron always had my back at the bar. So that was a lesson learned very quick that if there's some shit going down, the other bouncers at the bar would be there. So
Okay.
two ginormous Scottish guys, if you're out there.
Christ. Hey,
You got
Doormen.
you got speared.
You got to be willing to jump in.
Yeah.
Regardless of how big.
And this bar in Denver had 8 bouncers.
God damn. And how did you end up? Like, out of all the 8 bouncers,
How did I end up?
like, I mean, it could have happened to any one of the 8, but it
Yeah,
landed on the new.
well, it was a Thursday night, so Maddie's was like the slower bar, so that was really just go check the IDs over
Hey,
there.
by the way, that Maddie's bar, it ended up on Ghost Hunters or
Yeah.
something.
Unsolved Mysteries also twice.
Oh shit. Zach Baggins.
Sonny, you should go there.
All right, so my story, it comes from the days when I would work at the Gentlemen's Club. So this Gentlemen's Club, I really don't want to give it any. But it's in the OC, only Gentlemen's Club I've ever worked for. So there were 3 jobs you could do. You could do the door, the floor, or you can work as an errand boy for the girls. So in the beginning, I was on the floor. So of course you got to be watching out for the girls and the dances, and you're making sure that they're not being harassed, or if they have any complaints about the people there, you've got to pretty much deal with it.
Sergeant Grabby Hands.
So yeah. Anyway, so I had noticed on one night, it was kind of a slower night, but I had noticed a guy who had come in sweats, and took very little mind to the guy, but I realized he had come from a day's work, right? Came in sweatpants, and very rarely do people come in sweatpants to the.
Yeah, it's hard to hide your raging boner
Right.
in sweatpants.
This guy came in sweatpants. Didn't take any real notice to it. So as soon as I made my little round on the inside, I thought, okay, it's a slow night. I'm gonna go ahead and hang out outside because we used to, participate in some extracurricular activities on the outside. So I'm sitting outside, and I think I was probably smoking a cigarette at the time. And 20 minutes into that guy coming in, one of the girls comes running out. Hey, Evan, come. I need you to throw this motherfucker out. She's angry as shit. And then so I say, hey, man, calm down. Let me know tell me what happened. So I go running in after her, and she goes, and she's pointing to the guy who came in with his sweatpants. And then I said, it's kind of hard to hear, but she was telling me that the guy finished on her.
Oh.
Right? And then so I look down, and sure enough, this guy's pants has got a wet blotch going, but there's also holes in the crotch area of his sweatpants. Wow. I didn't take any notice to this. Upon him walking in,
because you're one of the least observant people I've ever met.
So hey, as soon as I recognized that, I snatched him up by the back of the neck, and I'm not a violent guy, right? I'm not a violent guy, nor was I at the time. But I snatched him up by the back of the neck, and I started walking him out. And I said, I'm always finding myself explaining. So you're leaving. This is the end of your night. Blah blah blah. The girl, all the while, she is screaming at me, I want you to fuck him up. And I was like, calm down. And then just jokingly, I said, how badly do you want me to fuck him up? Mm-hmm. So as we're walking, and she's, I'm hearing her out. This was a joke. I was joking. I didn't really plan on fucking the guy up. But she says, I have $160. As soon as the 60, the second syllable, as soon as that 160 came out of her mouth, I just talked back. And again, I was young. I'm not a violent guy. But as soon as the 60 came up, the excitement, I'm going to make some money, and I popped the guy in the face, and his body goes limp, and he was out. That's not even the climax to this story. What made me realize that I was only in store for much more violent experiences is how the girl reacted. So the guy's body goes limp, and he drops. And instead of being happy with what she saw, the girl began to stomp on the guy as he's on the ground. Mind you, she's wearing some 6-inch stilettos.
Yeah.
If you guys understand what the damage that stilettos can do,
Stripper shoes.
the spike of the stiletto pierced his shoulder because she's stomping down. I had to pull the girl off of the dude.
Wow.
And because, you know, if she had gone any further, he'd have probably died. So I yanked the girl off, and then I grabbed the guy, and there's a little area on the exit. It's kind of a booth exit. As soon as I opened that exit door, I placed him gently on the sidewalk for him to wake up and realize his wrongdoing.
That his shoulder's been pierced.
And then I went back and got my $160.
And his holy sweats are now ruined. Let me ask you this question.
Anyway.
You didn't let her finish $160. What if she said, I have 160 goldfish crackers, was the end of that statement. No. And you didn't even let her finish, and you
I
just
didn't let her finish because I knew what the 160 meant. My mind is pretty quick about these things, right? I know when money is coming. So when she said 160, I know she wasn't saying goldfish.
But what if she said,
bones,
I have 160
marbles,
family members?
No. As soon as that 60 came out, I knew it was my time to move in action.
What if she said 16? Would you have not hit him?
It was pretty clear.
No, I'm saying you said 6. And
hey, 60 or 16, 100. Hey, as long as you're going over 100, and all I've got to do is one thing. I mean, come on. I was a young, non-violent guy, right? But hey, when money is calling your name in that way, when things are going to move to you in such an guys, you know, growth happened though, right? I was in my younger days. I used to sport a shag, but
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, that's my Doormen story. Very early on, so I think I can leave you all with that one. Yeah.
You can fuck somebody up for cheap.
For cheap. I mean, you know what? The guy wasn't that big, and that's what I felt super bad for.
Well, also he can't. I mean,
a big guy.
So just to expand on this, I would have at the door been like, "Sir, you can't come in with those pants."
Yeah, because you would have been much more.
Not knowing that there's a hole in the crotch, I was just like, "Bro, come in here in sweats.
Right.
What do you think's gonna happen?
What do you think is gonna?
We don't have hogs on the stage. You dipshit. What do you think? I think is gonna happen.
I have no idea. I didn't. You know, it was a.
So it's not gray sweat night at the strip club.
Listen, you know when clubs and bars are like the business, it's not that busy. I mean, in my mind, I want the busier night. So I'm not going to be turning down people coming to the.
I'm turning down every person in sweats.
I should have,
especially at a strip club.
Looking back in retrospect, as we often do.
Yes.
I should have turned that bastard away.
You're like, sir, come on.
But I wouldn't have made $160.
Who do you think you're kidding?
So.
Who do you think you're kidding, sir? What do you think I think you're going to do here?
Hey, you know the urinals in our bathrooms over there were filled with condoms.
I would imagine.
Yeah. Like, where do these condoms come from?
I worked one weekend at a gentleman's club, and I would be homeless before I went back.
Yeah. Yeah, well, needless to say, I only lasted a little over a year at that place.
Jesus. That's way too long.
Anyway.
I lasted 2 8-hour shifts.
That was it.
And now fuck the rest of them.
Hey.
Nope.
Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Wild nights. Well, that was our episode.
On that note.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. And we out.